Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome to another video. It's that time of the weekend. It's Premier League predictions time. A special round of midweek fixtures for us to sink our teeth into and to feast our eyes upon. Not every Premier League team is in action in a special round midweek, but the majority of teams are. And whilst we're going to be focusing mainly, of course, on the Premier League title race, there are still games that are going to be affecting the entirety of the Premier League table. But I will say this. The teams that are in the hunt for the Premier League title from now until the end of the season have got some big, intriguing games for us to talk about in a special round of midweek fixtures coming up. Each Premier League contender has got a tricky game that could be very interesting to talk about. Of course, this is the video where we do talk about all of them, we analyse them, and of course I give my predictions to how I think each and every single game will end up this week. But before we get into all of that, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things are always and very greatly appreciated. Get involved in the comment section as well. Let me know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it in regards to the Premier League predictions for this week. Of course, it is a Premier League prediction show after all, people, so please leave your predictions down below. Would love to hear from you all on how you think each and every single game will go this week. But without further ado, let's kick things off with Wednesday's game. We're going to jump ahead to Wednesday's game, and there's a big reason why we're skipping Tuesday night's game, huge game on Tuesday night, for a little bit later. But first and foremost, we are going to come to Molineux, where we've got Wolverhampton Wanderers taking on Bournemouth. Both teams looking for a mid-table, middle-of-the-road kind of finish this season. And I've gone with a 1-1 draw to aid that particular feeling. Both teams have been very good this season. Both teams have probably exceeded a lot of people's expectations and where they were going to be lying and going this season. I think I put both of these teams to finish a little bit lower. I think I put Bournemouth to finish in the relegation zone, to be perfectly honest with you, so they've certainly exceeded my expectations. But overall, both teams play some good football at times. Either side could go on and win this game for sure. But I've gone with a 1-1 draw, calling it down the middle. Both teams have the opportunity to hurt the other. Both teams could certainly end up... this is one of them kind of predictions where it's like, it could be any kind of result. It really could be any kind of result. But it should be an interesting and intriguing game nonetheless. We know that obviously both sides a bit more open than we usually would anticipate and associate with both of these clubs in the past. And it could really make for an exciting game. So this one could go a little bit under the radar. Could be a very interesting one. But yeah, I've gone with 1-1. But again, I'm not too confident with this one because it genuinely could be any kind of result. Next up, we are at Selhurst Park for Crystal Palace taking on Newcastle. I've gone with a 3-2 win to Newcastle. Now, Crystal Palace have had a couple of good weeks. They beat Liverpool, obviously, a couple of weeks ago, and then they absolutely put West Ham to the sword at the weekend. Now, was that simply because West Ham had a big game midweek against Bayer Leverkusen in the Europa League? Did the extra 90 minutes or so in the legs of those players take its toll on them? Obviously, only time will tell. In the same manner of speaking, Newcastle, of course, had the weekend off, so this could be a very intriguing battle that plays out at Selhurst Park. One that I'm expecting goals for, one that I'm expecting the battle of two very informed strikers right now in Mateta of Crystal Palace and Isak of Newcastle to battle it out. So I'm anticipating a very interesting game, this one. I think Newcastle will just about edge it, but again, Newcastle's away form hasn't exactly been great this season, we know that. And of course, Crystal Palace are still trying to find their feet under their new manager. So it could be a very interesting battle, this one. One that like I say, I'm backing Newcastle for, but I think it's only just... I'm backing them, and I'm going with a narrow 3-2 lead, but it should be very entertaining for the neutral nonetheless. Next up, a Merseyside Derby. We're at Goodison Park for Everton against Liverpool, and I'm praying to God that Liverpool get the 3 points here. I'm praying. I'm not a religious man, but I'm praying to God. I'm praying to God that Liverpool don't bottle this, they don't lose this, they don't mess things up, because let's face it, it would be the perfect season for Everton to not only stay up this season, which they are looking on course to do, especially after a big win at the weekend, but then to put the final nail in Liverpool's coffin in terms of their title charge. That could potentially happen. We know for a fact that Goodison Park is going to be rocking. We know for a fact that Goodison Park is going to be lively. It's going to be hostile against Liverpool. And the fans are going to try and give that energy to the players to feed off. Now, Liverpool should be firm favourites. Rightly so. They have the better team, the better squad, the better manager, everything. But in a Merseyside derby or any kind of derby, form goes out the window, and these kinds of games are one-off games. They're like one-off games, they're like cup games. And we've seen time and time again that even a poor Everton team can go to Liverpool and get something from the game. And that is exactly what they'll be demanding, those Everton fans, from this. They'll be hoping that they can end Liverpool's title charge right there and then, Wednesday night at Goodison Park. I expect Liverpool to take the majority of possession as they normally do. And then I expect Everton to attempt to hit Liverpool on the counter-attack or from a set piece. And given the fact that Liverpool have struggled to defend set pieces or struggled to defend counter-attacks with switching off at vital moments during certain games, I think Everton can potentially cause some damage to Liverpool. But alternatively, of course, we know that Liverpool can cause damage to Everton. Diogo Jota is back, and he's back amongst the goals. Cody Gakpo has been improving for the past several weeks, and we know what the likes of Mohamed Salah and Darwin Núñez can do on their day. It's all about whether or not Liverpool take their chances. If they do, they could really, really put Everton to the sword here and continue their title charge, putting pressure on the likes of Manchester City before they play their game on Thursday. But we know that Liverpool can sometimes have brain fart moments. And if that is going to happen, and this is a potential banana skin for them, we know that that could come back and bite them. I'm going with Liverpool to win 3-1. I'm backing them to take their chances when they fall to them. But this has the potential to be a banana skin that I am completely and utterly aware of. So I'm just putting that out there. I'm going with Liverpool to win though. Next up, Manchester United, fresh off of getting through to the FA Cup final, are in action in the Premier League against Sheffield United. I've gone with a 2-1 win to United here. Now, obviously Sheffield United are battling at the bottom of the table. I think a loss here doesn't put them down instantly, but I think it means that they probably will go down in the next game week that we have. So probably by the end of this week, Sheffield United will probably be down if, of course, they lose this game. I backed them to lose, but with the way that United have been playing recently, I think Sheffield United will fancy their chances of getting something from this game. United haven't been playing great, and at the weekend, of course, they were 3-0 up against Coventry, and they threw that 3-goal lead away and were extremely fortunate that they managed to get through on penalties. They were lucky. They were disastrous, especially from the 60th minute onwards. And I think if Sheffield United can hang in there for the most part of the game, I think the later the game goes, I think they could probably steal or take something from the game. I really do. In saying that, though, we obviously know that United have the individual quality to provide the individual moments of brilliance that can ultimately tip a game in their favour. And that is, again, what I expect to happen here. I expect United to win, but I don't think it's going to be pretty. I don't think it's going to be anything special. I just think it's going to be a game that relies on individual moments that United will have the upper hand in. So I've gone with 2-1 to United. Manchester United, that is. But at the same time, I genuinely wouldn't be shocked if Sheffield United managed to pull off an incredible, well, just get something from the game, shall we say. Get something from the game. I wouldn't be shocked by that whatsoever. But United's individual moments to shine through yet again. Next up, we have got Thursday night's game, which is going to see the Amex Stadium come alive for the arrival of Manchester City as Brighton take on Pep Guardiola's side. Of course, City themselves, again, similar to Manchester United, are coming back off of FA Cup duties to perform back in the Premier League. And of course, they'll have some ground to make up. They may have the game in hand over both Arsenal and Liverpool going into this game, but by this point they could obviously be a few points behind both of those clubs, and of course those clubs are hoping that they lose one of their games that they'll have in hand over them. I don't see it happening here. We know that Brighton can be tricky opposition for anybody on their day, and especially against what is a very fragile and very awkward looking Manchester City defence that hasn't been as watertight as what we've known them to be in recent years. I still expect City to get the job done, but there are some frailties there that I think Brighton can take advantage of. It should be a very entertaining game. It should be a very exciting and entertaining game, but one that I'm fully expecting City, with the quality that they have in the final third, to be able to put away assuredly. I think I'm using that word right, if it is a word. They basically should get the job done. It's basically what I'm saying. They should get the job done. Is basically what I'm saying, and I'm going with 2-1 to Manchester City. It could be more. It's probably going to be the perfect time for their star players to really turn up. Like I say, there's no Champions League. They haven't got the FA Cup to worry about till the end of the season. So now they can purely focus on the Premier League, and they can just go bang, 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 bang in all of those games and get the job done. That will be the message from Pep Guardiola. Just get the job done. Because as long as they remain perfect from now to the end of the season, that Premier League title is theirs. There's nothing Arsenal and Liverpool can do about it. They hold the advantage and they know it. So that's going to be big for them. But is the mental block of maybe the likes of City and Liverpool Arsenal and Liverpool going 4 points clear before they've even played their game in hand or games in hand going to be enough for them? We know that City have been in this position before. Can they handle it this time around? Will be interesting to see if they can. I personally would expect them to, which is why I back them to win here. And lastly on this list, the game of this round of fixtures, the biggest game of this round, other than the Merseyside Derby, Arsenal against Chelsea. And I've gone with a 4-1 win in favour of Arsenal. Now, I know that Chelsea and Mauricio Pochettino normally save their big performances for the big games, and especially this season. When you look at the likes of, they performed a 2-2 draw against Arsenal early on in the campaign. They've also drawn to Liverpool earlier on in the campaign. They drew both times home and away to Manchester City as well. We know that Chelsea saved their best performances for their big games, and this obviously is a big game. This is against a rival, and a fierce rival at that. And not only that, but this is against a London rival which is going for the Premier League title. And similarly to what I said in the Merseyside Derby earlier, Chelsea would love absolutely nothing more than to end Arsenal's campaign and season here, because that could potentially happen. A win here for Chelsea could potentially end the season of Arsenal. Obviously, only time will tell on whether or not that is right or not, but it could be interesting as a talking point to discuss. I'm expecting a very interesting game. I'm not expecting Chelsea to sit back at all, which could play into Arsenal's hands. I'm expecting Arsenal to go out there and attack from the off. I'm expecting them to take the game to Chelsea, being the home side, being the team that's chasing the Premier League title, and to make a statement before the likes of Liverpool and City play in the upcoming couple of days after, of course, the game on Tuesday night. I think they will do it. I see there being goals in this game. There is talk that Cole Palmer's a doubt because he missed training on Monday due to illness. If that is obviously going to play into Arsenal's hands, that is a huge boost to Arsenal, a huge fortuitous boost if that is the case, unless of course he's going to be okay to play in the game on Tuesday night. But it could be a massive boost to Arsenal. I'm expecting them to really take the game to Chelsea. I'm expecting Chelsea to have their moments too. I don't think it will be all Arsenal. I'm expecting Chelsea to have their moments on the counter-attack. It's just about whether or not they can take those chances. We saw against Manchester City the weekend in the FA Cup. They didn't. And I'm expecting something similar here. I'm expecting them not to take their chances and Arsenal to take theirs. And it's going to be about a clinical class of finishing from Arsenal. And that is why I've gone with a pretty emphatic 4-1 win to not only put pressure on the likes of Liverpool and Manchester City, but to also lay down a statement that the Gunners aren't going anywhere in this Premier League title race. And what a statement it would be against one of your fierce rivals. I'm expecting Arsenal to be a dominant and to display a clinical edge of finishing, which will give them that 4-1 lead. And there you have it. Those are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of any of the games that are coming up this weekend? Let me know your thoughts, comments, opinions. But most of all, of course, people, let me know your predictions on how you think each and every single game will go this weekend. I'd love to hear from you all on that one. Of course, I would make for great and interesting reading down below in the comment section. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way out if you enjoy the video. Subscribe if you are new and want to see more content like this. Both things are always very greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Premier League predictions video. And I will see you and speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Speak to you all again very, very soon.